All right, guys, we are out here on Lake Collins. This lake has been kind of my nemesis lake, I guess you could say. My first like 3 or 4 or 5 times out here, didn't catch a thing. I was towards the end of winter last year, and just trying to get out here to see if we can get these odds up, because I've only caught dinks out of here. I've never caught anything big. We've got all the big swim baits tied on right now. Got a little bit of everything. We're probably gonna start off throwing the 8-inch Hud and hold over. Probably a little too bit of a fast sink for here, but we'll just burn it a little bit fast and see if they'll grab it quick. This thing's got a top hook on it and a stinger hook on the tail on the top side, so I'm not really worried about it being on the bottom because it shouldn't get snagged up, but you know how this goes. Throw around this submerged tree here. I'm not sure what else is here. There's usually a rock pile that's a pretty decent sized rock pile that's submerged under here over off to our left, but the waters came up with all this rain that we've had, and not sure exactly where that rock pile is, so we'll eventually get over there and find it. Oh, that's bottom. Well, I lied. Shouldn't have been too easy to snag this thing, but as you can see, we're stuck. Oh, there are fish here, though. Let's go in there. We're gonna get shallow quick. Got it back. Gotta love that. Of throwing these things, as you know, the tail on these things doesn't, nice subtle kick. Not very much action, but just enough for the bass's lateral line to pick that up and to feel that thump that thing gives off. This area, this lake, it's not one of our big lakes, but this is a lake a lot of people usually come to trout fish, and usually you have to deal with a lot of the trout boaters and their trolling lines and stuff like that, so you can't really open it up and fly around here. They've got these submerged rocks and rip the bottom out from under your boat if you're not too careful. Man, just want one of these rocks to be that thump. I don't know if you guys have ever really thrown swim baits very much, but once you get your first one, and the cast off. That's exactly what we didn't want. Get your first one, and cast off. That's exactly what we didn't want. Hate it, or not dedicated, sacrificed, we should say, a $30 bait to the lake. And unfortunately, there's probably not going to get that one back. But that's fishing. Oh yeah, you can see this guy coming for a lot longer, further out than that other guy. This one's not as heavy, so we can back off that spool tension knob a little bit more, get a little bit more distance off this thing. This one is an ROF 5, which doesn't sink near as fast as the, I think that was a 12 that I was just throwing there, that one I just lost. So I'm gonna let this sink a little bit longer, and it'll stay just off the bottom with about that same speed that we were reeling the other one. Because now we're on this side, just in, from that buoy to these buoys, we went from 9 foot to 14 foot, so I'll let it sink for a little bit longer to get it to the bottom. If I don't see anything else on this graph here in a little bit, we might make a move, push over those rocks off the bank over there. That over there is the north side of the lake, straight in front of us over here, and then we've got the point that goes up into the river channel back there, which is usually a good spot. That spot usually produces fish, but with those rocks being right there, they're the first things that see the sun in the morning, and if these guys are pulling up any on the bank, that is exactly where they will be. You want to kind of look at the structure that's up on the bank. So you've got the rocks over there, and then it'll transition to like a kind of gravelly area, and then it transitions to muddy bank. A lot of times when these fish are pulling up, pushing bait to the bank, they will pull up on those transitions from it going from muddy to gravel to chunk rock. And at one of those points, there should be bass if they have pulled up. This weather that we've been having lately has kind of got these guys in a little bit of a funk, and we are stuck. But we'll get out here for a few hours. I don't have all day to fish, but we'll give it a few hours and see what we can pull out of here. Kind of dedicate the first half of this day to chucking these bigger baits. Oh yeah, that's a tree off the bottom. And I don't know what we were stuck on, but it is in there. Oh yeah, that's a tree. Dude, 2 Hudds in a day? There's no way. Well, I mean, there is way, but hopefully not. Usually one of the things I like to do is when you get stuff stuck like this, go the opposite way that you were, the way that you cast it out, go back around it and then pull it back the opposite way, and it usually comes out, but it's not 100% always, depending on what you got it stuck in. God, I feel like I'm gonna break this thing. Oh, there it is. All right, guys, we are on that transition I was talking about. As you can see, it's a little muddy, a little gravelly, and then it goes to this big chunk rock here, and then we've even got some submerged bushes right here. So if they are here, if they have pulled up, this is where they should be. Whoa, what was that? I don't know, but we just birds nested the crap out of this thing. Today is just not going good today. I don't know if we're gonna be able to salvage this one. You know, you just have those days, right? You know, just nothing goes right. Lost a HUD. It just boomeranged this thing off the console window there. Probably that GoPro, maybe, who knows. All right, guys, once I get this fixed, we will be back. All right, we are back. That wasn't as painful as I thought it was gonna be. This is the outcome. Not too much, but we're tied back on, ready to go. One of the things I do want to mention to you guys, throwing these swim baits on braid, when you get backlashes like that, you run a super high chance of casting your swim bait off, because as you know, braid does not stretch, and when you get snaps like that, let's go ahead. When you get caught up like that, it usually just snaps you off because the braid doesn't stretch. You don't have that give like you do with, you know, the little bit of, oh, and that goes the tail. This is not a good day. I barely even threw that. You guys saw that, right? This is just not going well at all today. The emotionless HUD. Oh yeah. So what is that? That's $50 worth of baits today, and I can't even, I guess I should have looked at it before I casted it out there and could have put some mended on it, but I didn't. This is great. See, too hard on them. Why I don't throw soft swim baits? But that's just because I boomeranged it off the console. I hope I got that on video so we can go back and check that out later, but all right, well, this one's done. This one's done with it. Done with the Hudds. Done with the Hudds. All right, guys. Time is up for the day. Throwing these bigger swim baits. You know, didn't really pan out today, but you know, hey, every day's not gonna be a good day. So I guess we'll just come out when we have a little more time. Keep chucking them. Never get discouraged, because you never know when you will snag that double-digit fish. You know, 6-pounder, 7-pounder, 8-pounder, that's all cool too, but we're all in the hunt for that double-digit bass. Right now we're just gonna end it here and see what happens next time.